Hello YouTube, welcome to our channel where we try to predict the results of the Premier League every week, always chasing that perfect 10 out of 10.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please turn on your notifications if you want to hear more from us.
Let's go! Alright, so we had a few surprises last week.
Yeah, we didn't do as well as we were expecting, but
yeah,
that's the Premier League.
That is. So surprising results from any games as possible.
I mean, let's get the elephant out of the room. Man United were very poor against Palace. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, Spurs also stuffed up at home.
Poor.
Yeah, Newcastle.
But I mean, Roger and I were just talking before we started recording that penalty was a disgrace of a call. That was a penalty all day, in my opinion.
I think all VAR decisions so far have been disappointing on the whole. The decisions have been quite against the general consensus.
Yeah.
Most people looking at the screen would be like, that's a penalty or not, and then VAR says otherwise.
As humans, we knew he was trying to fall over in front of Kane to disrupt his movement. I've never been a fan of VAR, so maybe you guys should let us know what you think about VAR so far.
VAR, yes or no? Anyway, first game, Southampton versus Man United. So Southampton got a 3-point raise from last week's win away at Brighton after the 2-0 win.
Yeah.
Brighton got the red card, and then the 2 goals came after that. I don't think they would have won otherwise. I'd have to say they probably wouldn't have. But Man United also had a shock at Palace. Yeah, missed another penalty, this time by Rashford, so I don't know what to think for this game. It's, your call, I reckon.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is, United, I think, as poor as we were, we showed promising glimpses. It was a bit more free-flowing, quite dissimilar to last season where we had the very boring, one-dimensional attack. I liked a bit of the movement up front, and I do think if we continue in this vein for longer periods of time, we'll be able to break teams down, and because of that, I'm gonna still stand behind the team, and I think United is gonna get a surprising away win considering our record, but I do think, United win.
Next one is Chelsea and Sheffield. Chelsea won 3-2 at Norwich away. Abraham had his first start and is looking like the best option for strikers in terms of striker for Chelsea at the moment.
And England.
He'd be interesting for fantasy. A lot of people have swapped him in.
Yeah.
But they do still have defensive problems. Conceded 7 goals so far. Our first game was 4 goals, but still they've conceded continually. So
it's not really something. Sorry, it's not really something you associate with Chelsea, poor defense, but
no,
it's a reality.
I don't know. Do you think Luiz leaving has anything to do with it?
I think definitely would have something to do with it because their defense seemed thin at best when he was there. Zuma hasn't been hasn't instilled confidence in that defense at all. So I think they're really missing Rudiger. As soon as Rudiger comes back, maybe we'll see a shift.
There'll be goals going in from Sheffield.
Yeah.
Their starting attackers haven't been efficient though. They've started with the same 2 attackers for the first 3 games, but none of them have any assists or goals so far. And the goals have been coming from like Sharp, or why would you play your weaker ones, not efficient ones at the start? But we'll see. I'm thinking a Chelsea win for this one if Sheffield don't shuffle their attackers. I think that the Chelsea defense will still have leaks, but the Sheffield will probably do better if they had better strikers to start with.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. And one thing I have to say is that in the beginning of the season, we put Chelsea down in 6th. They're showing some character for their manager. They're fighting, and it's good to see. I would say their performances have been better than United's. They've shown a lot more energy, creativity. Yes, I'm also going to say a Chelsea win.
Cool. Alright, next game, Palace versus Villa. Both of these teams had a surprising win on the weekend. I watched Villa beat Everton 2-0 at home. where they played really well and had good control, especially in midfield where Everton lacked strength. And Palace win over United, I guess will boost their confidence. I think it's going to be a draw.
Yeah. My sentiments are along the same lines. I think Villa, now that they've got a taste of winning, they're going to want to extend that run. But Palace at home will be a tough test. I'm going for a draw as well.
All right, next one. Leicester versus Bournemouth. Leicester won away at Sheffield, as we've mentioned before already. Bournemouth got dominated by Man City, not surprising. But still managed 7 goal attempts on target, so that's
decent.
That's decent against Man City. Yeah. Bournemouth should be back to 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1 this game, because I don't see much between the quality of these two teams.
Yeah.
I'm guessing a draw.
That's pretty much my sentiment. The notes I made for this game is just that I feel both teams are going to cancel each other out. Draw.
Alright, next one is Man City versus Brighton. Now, City is even more solid this season, I feel, with De Bruyne back.
And we couldn't even imagine
really
that last season.
Brings fantasy back to the conversation. De Bruyne, he should get you some points for fantasy if you put or are able to fit him in. But I'd probably still pick Sterling.
For the price, I tried to avoid Salah and Sterling, having them in my team before the season started. Kind of regretting it now. Both of them are in top form, both doing really well, but I'm happy. As soon as De Bruyne came into the squad, I put him into my fantasy league team and he's been paying off.
Alright, well, Brighton will be without Endone, but I don't feel that was going to make a difference against Man City. It's probably like the best time to have a red card.
Yes.
Anyway, like
just a free game.
Just throw it away. It's Man City.
I was just going to say, I honestly don't believe there's any team in the Premier League that's going to be beating Man City.
At City.
Especially at City. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see that unbeaten season again. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, City win.
Alright, Newcastle versus Watford. Watching Newcastle beat Spurs last week was very...
a thing of beauty for you.
Yeah, it was very heartwarming. They played solid, Newcastle. Defended like crazy.
Yeah, no, I was impressed by the defense.
So if they can keep that up, I think they can handle Watford. But Deeney is still injured. They've only got 1 goal this season, Watford, from Gray. But 3 out of 3 losses so far for Watford. They've had decent possession, like pretty even for every game they've played, but just haven't been effective enough. Is this the game they'll turn around? I think so. I feel Newcastle feel too
confident
up. I think they might feel a bit too up themselves this week after beating Spurs. And maybe like lose focus a bit, and I think Watford will punish them.
I think now Newcastle are facing a completely different animal. Spurs were tactical. They were trying to break them down. So Newcastle, they just put 2 blocks of 4 and said, hit us and we'll stop it. Watford are actually going to hit them. They're this physical, brutish team, and I do think it's going to surprise Newcastle. I say Watford away win.
Watford away win. West Ham versus Norwich. Hall opened his account last week with a brace. And is looking good with Anderson, Yarmolenko, and then Lanzini behind him. I think this is a team to be wary of. I think all the teams will be quite cautious. Cautious. I think all of the teams will be quite cautious of this attack from West Ham. So I'm guessing a tight West Ham win. Although Norwich have been doing okay. Pukki's been scoring goals, and I think this game they'll still score maybe 1 or 2. But I think West Ham will come on top by just that little bit. Because remembering from last game, Norwich just didn't have the legs at the end. They got so tired, and I think fitness in the Premier League is at a different level, and I think West Ham has more experience in that regard. So I'm feeling a West Ham slight win.
I initially went for a draw in this game, but I do think if West Ham can manage the game well, Norwich will feel tired towards the end, and I think West Ham will have the quality to pick off a late goal if need be. So yeah, we can go with a tight West Ham win.
Burnley versus Liverpool. Burnley have been doing all right. Barnes is scoring a few goals and getting a lot of fantasy points. He's up there with Cookie.
Yep.
Do you think they can do any damage to the undefeated Liverpool so far?
In fact, I do. I'm still saying a Liverpool win, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as Liverpool fans would hope. I think it's going to be a
clean sheet.
A clean sheet is possible. Low scoring game could be. Watch us be totally wrong. It's going to be like 8-0. But I do think that Burnley are an organized team, and I think there'll be, I don't want to say a challenge for Liverpool, but there'll be a significant hurdle. Liverpool will do well to come out of this game with a convincing win.
All right, next one is Everton versus Wolves. Everton lost surprisingly. The weak midfield is very obvious now. I mentioned it last week, I think, when I was away. Yeah, the front three is pretty good. You've got Bernard, Richarlison, you've got Sigurdsson, and then you've got Schneiderlin and Gomez, who Gomez had a lot of errors last game, and to me, I feel he cost them the game. Digne and Coleman are probably the best players in that team at the moment. Just like the fullbacks, the fullbacks, like just crosses and attacking, defending, doing really well. Mina and Keane are also getting a lot of defensive points. But yeah, just that midfield is causing a lot of problems. Wolves, I think, have a solid midfield.
Yes.
They've got like 5 playing in every game. They've got like 5 in there.
Yeah, and a mix of creativity and strength.
Yeah, and Moutinho's got that experience. Yeah,
and just that bit of class.
Yeah. So I feel it's going to be a draw for this one. I was going to say Wolves away win. Yeah, but we can't totally dismiss Everton's front and back.
Yeah.
So
So the way Roger and we come up with these things is we kind of discuss things before we start our videos, and we just couldn't come to a clear consensus on this. The more we looked at stats, the more our opinions kept changing. But I do think as well, as Roger made a good point about he can't see Everton winning, so we would go for a draw or a Wolves win. Yeah. And I can't see Wolves winning away, so we're going to settle with a draw for that one.
Draw it is.
Yeah, but let us know what you think about that game, because that one, we really struggled to pick a result for that game.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Arsenal versus Spurs. Liverpool is still a class above Arsenal. It was so apparent from the last game, 3-1, but we've made an improvement. Last season we had 5-1. This season 3-1, and we looked all right for the first half.
No, I think you guys did well.
Right. Yeah.
Pepe, he was a good counter-attacking force.
Yeah, he just didn't find the net on a few occasions.
Yeah.
I'm still really looking forward to Ozil coming back. I think that link up from Ozil to Lacazette or Pepe and Aubameyang, if they all play together, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be like an upgraded version than that of West Ham. You know? Yeah. It's going to be so powerful. But I don't know if Emery will play them all at the same time, but we'll see. Spurs, they had so much possession again, 80%, and just couldn't find the back of the net. They had 17 attempts and only 2 shots on target. Even if Son came back, it didn't help the game. So, I think they're probably a bit discouraged and demoralized this game. And then it's just a bad time for a derby for them. And I feel Arsenal is quite happy with the attacks so far. as long as they take their chances and being at home, I think that will have an effect on their confidence when attacking. So I feel they could put in a few goals. Yeah, I think they hesitated a bit last game, Pepe and Aubameyang, when they had the ball. So maybe an away game at Liverpool was just that daunting for them. Yeah. So they didn't have that just good sense at the time. So being at home, derby,
I think confidence is going to be a big thing. Arsenal, I feel they're going to, even though they lost, they can take confidence in their performance. Spurs, I don't think they're going to have much confidence after that game. A few things didn't go their way, and they just didn't do enough to make things happen. I gotta agree with you. I think mildly comfortable Arsenal win.
Yep. Okay, so now to fantasy football. Trevor's back on top after he did his big reshuffle. Used his wildcard.
Yeah, I think that really paid off. I felt I was losing too much money and my players weren't starting, losing money. So I felt I'd bring in some guaranteed starters. I was lucky, Pookie, De Bruyne helped me out there. I was happy with my decision to play my wildcard quite early.
Yeah, well, now this week is my turn. I've used mine.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
You didn't know that. So yeah, I feel more confident after the first 3 game weeks that I know which ones are the bargain players now. With that in mind, then you can use some of your funds to buy the more expensive players that you couldn't afford before. So my starting team had a lot of balance in most players, but now I can pick the cheap bargains plus the expensive ones.
So what you're saying is you put Pookie in your team?
Yes, that's correct. So this week, maybe I'll come back ahead and beat this guy. So here's my team.
All right, and for me, I've done the exact opposite of what Roger has done, and I've made no changes to my team. I'm trying to save up another free transfer for next week. My thinking was to take out Kane because when you don't do well against Newcastle, you're probably not going to do well against anyone. That's my thinking. I'm kidding, but I have been thinking about taking Kane out of my team, reinvesting elsewhere, but I'd rather wait to have 2 free transfers before I make that change. So anyway, here's my team here.
Cool. So, thanks for watching again. Please let us know your comments on or your thoughts on the fixtures this week and VAR, yes or no, and how you're doing with your fantasy.
Yeah, share it all with us. We can't wait to hear from you guys. So yeah, catch you next time. Happy game week.
Done. We're getting quicker, man.
Yeah, man.